Hi, I'm Steph and I review everything, and today I want to talk to you about Disneyland. But first, thanks for checking out my channel. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. I appreciate it. Alright, Disneyland. So we went to Disneyland in September of 2022 this year, and it was our first time back since all of the craziness that has happened. And I have a few issues, but I have a lot of good things to say too. So here we go. Here's my review of Disneyland 2022. So the good stuff, the app is really a game changer, and it helps so much to plan your day in the park. The first benefit of the app is that you can link your passes and then you just scan them from your phone. They also gave us a paper ticket, which you want to keep just in case something happens with scanning, it has an issue or something goes wrong, then you have your paper ticket as well. It's just a little one that fits in your wallet. Another great thing about the app is that it shows wait times for the attractions on the map. I'm going to put up some pictures of this. Instead of walking all the way from Space Mountain over to Indiana Jones to find out that Indiana Jones is like a 90-minute wait, the app is constantly updated, so you can decide what you're going to do from 1 minute to another, which is so great. So this is what a few of the rides looked like on a random Saturday in October when I just opened up the app. The map also will show you if any of the rides shut down temporarily. It will just tell you that that ride is shut down. And then again, you don't waste your time walking across the park just to find that out. So one of the other things that I really liked about the app is the mobile food ordering. This is a huge improvement to standing in line to get your lunch or dinner or soda or ice cream. In the past, we haven't bought a lot of food in the park, but when we went in September, we were lucky enough to have some gift cards. So we were able to buy some meals and snacks in the park. And mobile ordering sped that up considerably. So what we did was we would hunt down a table in the area we wanted to be in, and then we would order our food on the app and wait in a chair rather than in a crowded line. So this is how it works. One way you can access the mobile food app, or the mobile food in the app, is to hit the plus sign and then choose order food, and then you just scroll through to the restaurant that you want. You choose a place, and the first thing you are asked to do is to choose your arrival window time. If you're good at estimating when you're going to finish a ride, you can do this while you're in line, or you can do what we did and just find a table somewhere, place your order in the soonest open window of time. And then you can hit either view menu or order food and then add what you want to your order. If you've saved your debit or credit card to the app, paying is really quick and easy. They don't let you save gift cards in the app. At least they didn't when we were there. So we just had to scan it every time, which wasn't too bad. So then you just wait until your time window opens, and then you click I'm here, prepare my order, and they will assemble your food and your drinks and stuff. If you've set up the app to send you notifications, then you'll get a notification when your food is ready to be picked up. So you just go to the assigned window and pick it up. It's really simple and easy. Some places have windows that are like numbered, and it'll tell you which window to go to. So the final thing I want to talk about in the app is Genie Plus, which we did use on our last day in the park because it was a Friday. So we anticipated it was going to be a little extra crowded. And the app made using Genie Plus pretty convenient. We were able to have all of our passes on one phone. My son took charge of that. So then just scanning it at the ride entrance was a breeze. So while I really, really miss the old Fast Pass system, which was free, if you have the money to splurge on a day of Genie Plus, it's worth it, especially if you're going to be there on a busy day like Friday or a weekend. It is more expensive now than even when we were there in September. The prices just went up. It was $20 per person per day when we were there. I don't remember. I read it went up. I can't remember if it's 25 now. So as with everything, it's just getting more expensive. But I do feel like it was worth it for one day for us, for the situation that we were in. Another great thing about Disneyland this year is the Star Wars area, which I think is called Galaxy's Edge or something like that. I just call it the Star Wars land. This was our first time seeing that section at Disneyland, and as expected, they did a really fantastic job with it. one of the things that Disneyland excels at is immersion, and they really nailed the feel of the newer Star Wars universe. The Millennium Falcon is there, but that's really the only direct nod to the original trilogy in my mind. I mean, there are droids and other ships and things around, but I feel like overall, it's a great fun section of Disneyland. There are only 2 rides there right now. Rise of the Resistance, which we went into not really knowing what to expect, and it was really fun. And the other ride is the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, which I personally didn't ride. It sounded like it's one of those that would make me kind of sick. Like, I can't ride Star Tours. It just makes me sick. So there are certain rides that I avoid, but my kids and my husband rode it and they liked it. So here are a few pictures that we took of the Star Wars area while we were there. And of course you can find many images online too, if you want to see what it looks like. Another great element of the park that we weren't expecting to like as much as we did is the new Guardians of the Galaxy themed ride that used to be Twilight Zone Tower of Terror over in California Adventure. So because we were there during Halloween time, we got to ride 2 versions of this ride. The first is the regular one, which is Mission Breakout, and the second one is called Monsters After Dark. So as much as I loved the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, I was really, at first I was kind of disappointed that they were going to retheme the ride back and it reopened back in 2017. That being said, the Guardians of the Galaxy fits a lot better with the Marvel area that they've built in California Adventure, and it is a really entertaining ride. They make Rocket the star of the show, which was really smart because we all love the rascally, morally ambiguous raccoon. And the Monsters After Dark version was really great too. It's definitely worth riding later in the day. What they do is they shut it down for a couple of hours and then they open it back up as Monsters After Dark. And they do warn that it's really scary. It might be too scary for small children. Really small children are too short to ride the ride anyway, but you'll just have to kind of make that judgment for yourself. We were all of my kids are grown up, so everyone that was in our party was adults, so we loved it. We thought it was great. I was really happy to get to ride Splash Mountain a few more times before they rethemed that to The Princess and the Frog. I'm not sure when it's going to begin, but it has a scheduled reopen date of late 2024, so whatever that means. I understand that the film, which featured Brer Bear and Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox, is problematic. But there's nothing offensive about the ride itself, so I am a little sad to see it go. So I was really happy that it hadn't closed yet. If they cared what I thought, which they don't, I would tell Disney, maybe make some new animated shorts or a film with Brer Bear and Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox, so that give those characters their own life separate from the old movie. But of course they're not asking my opinion, so there it is. All right, so there were a few negatives though about our trip. My son was really disappointed that they were refurbishing the Matterhorn, but obviously that can't be helped. You can check the app before you go and kind of get a feel for what rides are closed. Sometimes they plan far enough in advance that you can like plan your trip around what's going to be open and closed. But obviously that's not a criticism of the park itself. That's just one of the things we were disappointed about. Here's what really bothered us though. There are a few things. First of all, I could not believe how many rides broke down while we were there. This is my, I think, 7th trip to Disneyland in my life. I went a few times in the 80s. This is way, way back when the park was fairly small compared to what it is now. And then I've been a few times since then. And this is the first time I've ever seen so many rides shutting down for problems and then reopening later in the day or the next day. And it was many of like the most popular rides that kept intermittently shutting down and having problems. Space Mountain, Indiana Jones, Splash Mountain, the Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder Railroad, these all just kept having problems. And it was really frustrating. More than once we got into a line that was an under 60-minute wait, and then 20 minutes later the ride shut down. So, you know, this is a problem. This is out of character for Disneyland, frankly. And I don't know why this was happening. And I don't know if this has continued to happen since our trip. Maybe it was a September problem, but it was really bad. It was surprisingly frustrating. We'd end up just riding a ride that we maybe weren't planning to just because it was close by and didn't have a long line when we got kicked out of line when something closed. So that was one issue. Secondly, and this is related, it seems like Disneyland may have kind of stopped upkeep on some of the rides. There are features such as like on the Indiana Jones ride, the snake and the boulder no longer do what they used to do. Things that just don't seem to work properly anymore, that they are just okay with having them that way, which is too bad. Disneyland used to be like all about the experience, and I realize that there are people who ride those rides and don't even notice what maybe used to be different. But for those of us that are aware, it's kind of, again, it's just a little bit frustrating. It's a little out of character for Disneyland. Our third complaint is it's really time for Tomorrowland to get an overhaul. It needs a makeover. We years ago in 2008, or no, it wasn't 2008. I don't know when it was, but we happened to go to Disneyland when they had rethemed Space Mountain as Hyperspace Mountain, which was a Star Wars theme, and it was amazing. We didn't even know. And we got on the ride and the Star Wars music started up, and it was amazing. It was so cool. I wish that they had made that permanent and moved that over to the Galaxy's Edge area. I think that would be really cool. Again, though, they don't care what I think. So, but maybe, obviously if they're not going to do that, maybe they could do something about the queue. One of Disneyland's strengths, again, is this magical immersive quality of the attractions, including the queues. But guys, Tomorrowland is just, it feels worn out and bored. And it's really sad. You've got this, the blue-gray theme everywhere, but the paint looks faded, and the queue for Space Mountain is just nothing. There's nothing to it. It's really unfortunate. And I would say they could update it. They could just refurbish it and keep it, the old 1950s, this is what the future might look like kind of idea, but freshen it up, give it a new coat of paint, build some new rides, tear out some of the old garbage that's over there. Anyway, though, again, they don't care what I think. All right. One of my bigger complaints, though, was the lack of merchandise. This is the first time I've actually had a hard time finding a souvenir that I liked. I was really excited to go in late September because I love Halloween, and they usually have some amazing Halloween merch. But this time there was not a great variety of Halloween stuff, and it was really the same few items available in every shop, except the Star Wars areas had Star Wars Halloween stuff, which is fine, but none of it was really enticing to me. My husband usually likes to buy a t-shirt with Mickey wearing a pirate hat or whatever. Couldn't find anything like that. Couldn't find a magnet for our collection that we have. Really, there just wasn't a great selection of anything. Usually, I'm on such a tight budget that I have to pick and choose out of a variety of things that I wish I could afford. And this time I had the opposite problem. I still had, a set amount of money I could spend, but there wasn't really anything that I wanted all that much. I was hoping to bring back a souvenir for my sister, who dog sat for us while we were gone, and she loves The Nightmare Before Christmas, but there just wasn't much to choose from. What there was really didn't impress me. So I did get a couple of t-shirts. This is one of them. My daughter got a really cute Alligator Loki plush from California Adventure. But other than that, we really didn't buy very much. And one of the biggest surprises is that they don't even sell the Mickey ear hats anymore. The classic, this one, where you get your name embroidered on the back. They don't even have them. All we saw were headbands with the ears, which, there's a wide variety of those. Some of them light up and some of them are sparkly and some of them are, whatever. But it's kind of sad to see something that was this standard souvenir for decades to just disappear from the park. I understand why they don't have the old antenna toppers anymore. You might be able to see I have a large collection. I have one more pot of them as well. My brother used to go to Disney a lot when this was a popular thing, and he would bring us back souvenir antenna toppers, so I do have a lot of them. And I understand why they wouldn't sell those anymore, because most cars don't have antennas like that anymore. But the classic Mickey ear hats seems like a no-brainer that they would still have those. You know, if you took your kids years ago and you got everybody a Mickey ear hat, and then you have a younger child that you take now, you can't get them one. So that really surprised me. I don't know what the explanation is. Maybe the headbands are cheaper to produce, so they're making more money on them. And I understand that that is probably the case, but it is a shame. It's too bad to see some of the more classic things disappear. So I have a little side note here. On our vacation, we also visited Universal Studios Hollywood, which is in no way as much fun as Disneyland. But they did have one thing that I wish Disney would consider putting in the ride queues and some of the open areas. Universal Studios has these enormous fans that spray a water mist over guests. And that was really nice considering we were there when it was like 90 degrees Fahrenheit all week. So that would be nice if Disney decided to put those in. I don't know if they will, but that would be cool. So I don't go to Disneyland expecting it to not be crowded. I'm not going to complain about the crowds or the heat or the cost. Those are all givens. And if you can't deal with those, Disneyland's not for you, and that's totally okay. I do wish they would move the stinking stroller parking that's by the Pirates of the Caribbean somewhere else. It creates a bottleneck, and it's really difficult to navigate through when it's crowded. They have stroller parking that are issues in other areas, but that is seriously like the worst place for them. But again, like, they don't care what I think. In all the times I've gone to Disneyland, this is the first time I've come away with disappointments, really. There were some highlights. We had a great trip, and I'm glad that we went. It was nice to be back after, you know, the events of the past few years. I hope they haven't lost their focus on guest experiences, which is kind of what it feels like. Like, I know they're trying to recoup some of their losses from the last few years, and so everything's gone up in price. And, you know, that's a little bit painful. It makes it harder to go. I would like to go back one day. I'm going to have to save up more money because it's more expensive than ever. And like I said, they just raised the prices again just a few weeks ago, which, again, I understand. I just wish that if we're going to pay more, the experience needs to be up to the standard that it used to be. So that's too bad. I do recommend if you go, though, get to know the app, get comfortable with it. There are some really great features there, and it's definitely worth it. And, you know, Disneyland is still the happiest place on earth. I just hope that they haven't lost their way, you know. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, click like. If you want to leave me a comment, leave me a comment. Tell me why I'm crazy. Tell me what merch you found there that you liked in the last year. Maybe I missed something. Maybe there was something amazing that I just didn't see. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.